So just a couple of days ago, Slate actually leaked some of their pricing on their upcoming electric pickup truck. Now I wanted to give some of my thoughts on the A, general idea of Slate, B, whether or not I think it's actually going to sell well, and C, whether or not I would buy one. So let's start off with that first thing. A couple days ago, that would have been June 16th, Slate accidentally leaked some of their pricing. Now the rumored price that they had leaked on their website was $24,950, and they also leaked some other specs like the increased towing capacity, so it went from 1,000 to 2,000 pounds, and the payload increased by over 150 pounds from 1,400 to 1,550. So the specs look pretty good, although the power did drop. Another leak that was rumored was that the base model Slate battery was going to be an LFP pack. Now, Slate is going to offer 2 battery packs on their budget electric truck. They're going to offer a probably 50 kilowatt hour LFP battery that should be good for about 150 miles range. And then I think they're going to probably offer an, NMC pack that's going to be their extended range, that's going to give you about 240 miles of range, and I would assume the capacity would probably be 75 to 80 kilowatt hours, but that's just a guess. Those specs seem decent, but the other thing is that you're not actually seeing is A, the DC fast charging speed is only rumored to be about 120 kilowatts, which is not a ton, but if the curve is good, then I don't think it really is a deal breaker. On the other hand, it only is offered as rear wheel drive, which I think is a big misstep. And with that rear wheel drive motor, you're only getting about 181 horsepower. Now, when Slate first announced their truck, they said that it would be around the 200 horsepower mark, but it seems that the recent leaks have confirmed that it is going to be dropped down to about 181, which is not a ton for a modern EV, but that still should be good for 0 to 60 in about 8.5 seconds, which I think is on par with the pricing. So let's go back and talk about that pricing. $24,950. Now, when Slate launched, they were saying it would be under 20 grand with the federal tax credit, but the tax credit back then was $7,500, and that is gone now. So with the tax credit being gone, they actually are technically under their target price when they launched, because now they're at $24,950, which is lower than $27,500. But honestly, for that, you're not getting a ton of vehicle. You're getting a 2-door truck with a small battery pack that can't even do 150 miles on the highway realistically, a small towing capacity, a small bed, and no infotainment system, speakers, power windows, etc. You see the point that I'm getting at here? It seems like a really appealing concept to be able to mix and match your body panels, convert it to an SUV with a kit, wrap it, have a bunch of bolt-on and cheap accessories for it to make production costs cheaper, but I don't think it really is going to work well in the market, in my opinion, because the Ford Maverick is the cheapest selling vehicle right now. I do have a full review up in the card if you guys want to go watch that, and it is an exceptional vehicle, even though it has increased in price quite a lot over the years. The base price on one of those is about $27,500, and I think for that is an exceptional vehicle, obviously not electric, but Ford is about to compete with Slate, and they are going to release an electric Maverick. I don't know what they're going to call it, probably something like the Ranchero EV or something around those, similar to that, or maybe they might just call it the Maverick Electric. I'm not sure, but that product is a lot more appealing to me because it's 4 doors, has a similar size bed to the Slate, should be able to tow just as much, if not more, than the Maverick, which is rated at 4,000 pounds max. Should have better payload than the Maverick, although that'll probably be pretty on par with the Slate, and it's going to have an infotainment system as standard, a stereo as standard, power windows and mirrors as standard. It's not going to be as bare bones, but it's also not going to be as customizable. I also think the Maverick EV is going to be offered as all-wheel drive, which will be great. On the other hand, like I mentioned, the Slate is not going to be offered with all-wheel drive, which seems like a big problem. Now, Slate is marketing this as a cheap electric truck, and it checks that box, but it doesn't check a lot of other boxes. So, do I think it's actually going to do well? I'm not quite sure. A lot of people seem excited for it, but if you've noticed, when people ask for stuff in a new vehicle, they don't always buy it. That goes for single cab pickup trucks, sports cars that companies make and then people don't buy, etc. There's a bunch of examples that I could list off. I'm not going to waste your guys' time, but I think it's safe to say that the things that the average consumer thinks they want is not what they're actually going to spend their money on. Now, this should benefit in the Slate's favor because A, it's super bare bones, and B, it's going to have infinite number of different configurations configurations you can get it into. So if you want a specific body style or a specific trim interior or a specific infotainment screen and stuff like that, you can get it on the Slate. The problem with it is, though, one, they have to manufacture all those separate accessories. Two, the vehicle's not painted, so if you have to paint it, you have to spend a couple grand on a wrap, which is a lot of money. And three, I don't think the average buyer is going to be okay with having such a basic vehicle for 25 grand. If they want to get it how they want it, they're going to have to spend well over 30, and I think at 30 grand, you might as well just get a Maverick at that point, or the upcoming Ranchero EV, whatever is out by that point. Slate is going to do an event, I think probably tomorrow by the time this video goes up. This will probably go up on the 23rd, and the event is on the 24th. That is a Wednesday, and they are actually going to announce their official pricing. I'm just mentioning the rumored pricing and the rumored specs of the vehicle, but I think it's safe to say that I don't know if I would buy one because I don't really think it fits my use case. In my opinion, I need a four-door long-range vehicle that can do all my driving. I like to have one car that can do it all, and as of right now, my Model 3 does basically all of those things except the long-range part of it because it's got high miles, but that's not necessarily the car's fault. It's just the fact that it's a used vehicle. So I'm actually really worried for Slate owners who buy a used one because the range isn't that far to begin with, and with degradation, it's only going to get worse. But if the base model is LFP, that means it should have a good cycle life, and the degradation should be minimal, and you should be able to full charge it more often. Although, don't actually full charge it every time, because even though they say you can do that with LFP batteries, it still hurts the battery. So charge it to 80, only charge it to 100 about every week to calibrate the battery. So I'm not quite sure if the Slate is going to succeed. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of this whole ordeal. Honestly, I'm excited for it, and I really want to review a Slate truck, but would I buy one? Probably not. Anyway, that's the end of this fairly short video. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and see y'all in the next video.